is not a crime. War criminals do the crime. Transparency is not a crime. War criminals do the time. Transparency is not a crime. War criminals do the time. So you better be careful everything you say here because it's being recorded and there are always CIA people within our midst. You know that, don't you? So we have one CIA person in our midst who we're just going to give the mic to because, he might as well speak. He was 2 years in the infantry in the 60s and then he spent 27 years in the CIA. And now he's part of a very special organization. He's a VIPS. He's a VIPS, VIPS. And he is the founder of this very important organization. And that is Veteran Intelligence Professionals for Sanity. So welcome one of the sanest CIA analysts ever around, Ray McGovern.
Wow. I don't see how anyone could possibly be discouraged if they just took a second to look around. Would you do that? Just take a second look around here. Now, Bradley Manning is going to see us all right soon. And so as encouraged as I am right now, I think he's going to be even more encouraged to hear about today and then to see us all right soon. I took the unusual step of writing down my remarks today because I'm Irish and I tend to go over. So I'm going to sort of read and crib from them, if you don't mind. We're living in a liminal time. That's just a fancy word the academics use for threshold time, okay? What we're used to, so much that we take for granted, is passing away. And it's in times like these that we have to be careful lest we come to love the chaos that passes for reality. That's why we need to honor our brother Bradley Manning. He was not afraid to face the unknown, not afraid to resist the seduction of conformity, not afraid to follow his conscience, and not afraid, most important for us today, not afraid to give us the wherewithal so that we can have enough information to follow our own consciences. The principalities and the powers, including our fawning corporate media, no offense to those here, have no hold on people like Private Manning, because Private Manning refuses to live in a moral vacuum. Manning dared to mock the false order that parades these days as reality. That reality has lost its power because it cannot live in the light of truth. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall keep you free. I saw that biblical passage chiseled into the marble wall of CIA headquarters in April 1963 on my first day as an analyst there. By coincidence, that was the same month, April 1963, that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. penned a letter from the Birmingham City Jail, including very graphic words regarding our duty to expose deceit and injustice. Now, he spoke in this letter in Homeric sentences. They all parse beautifully. You can diagram them if you're old as I am, but they require some concentration. So I'm going to read them slowly so you will remember. Dr. King, quote, "Like a boil that can never be cured as long as it's covered up, but must be opened with all its pus-flowing ugliness to the natural medicines of air and light, injustice must likewise be exposed, with all of the tension its exposing creates, to the light of human conscience and the air of national opinion, before injustice and deceit can be cured." End quote. Now, what Private Manning is alleged to have done with the help of WikiLeaks is to puncture that boil of injustice and deceit. our defense secretary and the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, they don't mind to have blood on their hands. Their hands, not Manning's and not WikiLeaks. Their hands. They're kind of used to it. They're cogs in an imperial system. Now, they're large diameter cogs, to be sure, but cogs nonetheless. They have made their peace with red on their hands. What they do mind is the pus. The pus. Pus stinks. It stinks to high heaven and is more readily smelled than blood. Now, we have no quarrel with the Marines and the soldiers who think they must cede their conscience to a cause that they are told is noble. No quarrel with them, but we do have a big problem with those who send them off on feckless missions that make the charge of the Light Brigade seem a model of military planning. Now, the gun barrel video that WikiLeaks released, titled Collateral Murder, showed the degree to which our own soldiers have been brutalized by the so-called rules of engagement that brutalize others. Our Secretary of Defense had not a word of regret for that, not for the dozen human beings shot in a turkey shoot from an Apache helicopter, and not for the 2 employees of Reuters news agency killed that day in July 2007, or for the 2 children who were badly wounded. It's that kind of thing that needs to be exposed, and it is that Private Manning is accused of giving to WikiLeaks. How about the more recent WikiLeaks disclosures? Before them, did Americans know, for example, that we're giving $1 billion a year to Pakistan, which in turn turns around and uses that money to train, equip, and sometimes lead those who are killing our Marines and soldiers in Afghanistan? Do Americans understand that for our supposed ally, Pakistan, the game is about denying India predominant influence in Afghanistan? And so Pakistan supports the Taliban toward that aim, and our forces get killed? What WikiLeaks has released is documentary evidence of what's really going on, AKA, or otherwise known as, the truth. Ground truth. Press and Pentagon protest the granularity of this documentary evidence. The proper word, my friends, is not granularity. It's blood. It's fecklessness. It's the absence of any good sense, including moral sense, in the Pentagon and, sadly, in the White House. Now, we are here today to help Private Manning to lance the boil. We're here to give him encouragement to keep living humanly, as we are trying to do among the fallen powers. We want to say thank you. And I faced a logistical problem because I wanted to find out which direction the prison is in so that we could shout our thank yous at Private Manning. And we made discreet inquiries and were told that's classified. So are there any representatives of the organs of state security here who would care to leak that information? Okay, it's that way. Okay, well, we have some attorneys here who know, all right? So it's that way. So why don't we say thank you, Private Manning. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone.